Welcome, everybody. Welcome. This is one strand of hair that just doesn't like to go with the others. So, what is this? Is one strand. It's not like the others. One of these things just don't belong. Maybe that's a song they should have for the Olympics. One of these things just don't belong. One of these things ain't like the other. What do you think those things are? Can you tell? Oh my goodness, goodness. I know. I'm at a place where I'm at a where I'm just laughing. Like everything I'm seeing, I am just laughing. Even as horrendous and as crazy as it all is, it's just like you just like, what? Are you serious? Oh my god, really? Oh, what? Oh no. Um, I wrote a blog today, and if you are on my email list, if you're not and you want to be on my email list, just let me know and I can add you to my email list. Um, I did write a blog today about joy and what committing and finding that joy and how it's so important right now to find joy. And I feel so many people are stretched and feeling over obligated that we have to do this and we have to do that. And this is where, walking with purpose, like having to walk with purpose, like the journey, it's a journey of transformation and taking care of our heart, because within our heart resides joy. Joy is there. Joy is a part of us. It is our innate part of who we are. I have things of joy all over my house. I have this joy. I have a joy sign over there. Joy's just part of what part of what I have within my home that I try to put up as a symbol. A symbol within my home is joy. And I see that, that I'm so happy and grateful to have love and laughter and joy within my life, even when it doesn't feel like it, or it's just really overwhelming or challenging, and having to go through whatever hoops I have to go through at this time. But this is in our heart, and I must, people want and need, sometimes, you want and people want and need love, and then you say, oh my god, I just have to give more, I must, I need to, you want to stretch yourself out even further, but that's not what you should do. And especially with the especially with the astrology that's going on today, and as we are entering in, well, we're already in August, I'm sorry, we're here, and you are starting to see how things are becoming explosive and things are starting to be triggered off. There is so much, that's happening, and we're in the dark phases of the moon, right? So we're in this dark phases, and we have, with, as we evolve before this new moon early Sunday morning, we have Mercury is stopping, so there's communication, so communication is going to be all over the freaking place right now. And I love Virgos, but Virgos can be over analytical. There's that part of being a Virgo, and that Virgo energy is over analytical, overseeing, oversighting, um because they want to fix, they want to do it, they want to have a certain order, and they want to have it this way, and if they don't have it this fucking way, then they can go, berserk. And Mercury, being their ruler, is basically, it's going slower than what Jupiter is, and Jupiter takes 12 years to go around the sun, and Mercury takes 88 days. So we have this dark moon, and I feel like we have to get into that, and I got, like, that hippie Piscean energy, and relax and enjoy and stop getting your shit in a knot, which probably isn't a good thing to say in Canada right now, right? Because with what's going on, back east on one of the beaches. I think I can't remember. It starts with a W, Wasanga or whatever beach, and people. I mean, oh my goodness gracious! Like really, really, in today's day and age, people don't want to use the toilet. Oh, like. Like I'm just gonna side rail. If I don't pick up my dog shit, I get a fine, right? How many people would take their dog and have your dog shit on the beach? Like you would have so many people after you. Yeah, that beach, Charlene, Wasanga, whatever it's called. So beach. And human beings digging a hole, burying their diapers on the beach is bleh. It's just disgusting. It's disgusting, right? I get people go into the water and pee. It happens. Cold water hits. You're like, "What? Ah!" You know, it happens, right? You're in the water. I mean, I get it. Fish pee in the water and shit like that. But I'm talking about people actually pooing on the beach. Now, this is just one of the cray crays that are going on. And the things that I just have to laugh. Like I just have to like, okay, wake up calls are happening left, right, and center. And having these wake up calls are happening. And right now the moon is in a desperate to get back into balance. And it's finding a hard time to get back into balance after having two full moons in Capricorn. I mean, that's fucking stress, you know? And the thing is like, yeah, and it's disgusting. It is. It happens in Alberta Beach all the time. But it's disgusting. And it's let's go. Side sidebar. I'm gonna go on a sidebar again. It's like most of those people pooing aren't white people right now. They're immigrants. They're people who've just come into the country that don't know right from wrong, that have been pooing on the streets of their own country. And that's why there's dysentery and other problems that are going on in their country. And they're bringing it here. They're not vetted, they're not taught. Years ago, and this is a true story, in Brooklyn, New York, back in the 60s, they decided to build apartment buildings for low income people. The first building that they built, the first building they built, they let anybody into the building. You're low income, you passed it, whatever. And then they noticed that within a year, as they're building the second one, that one just people were shitting in the elevators. Things were breaking down. People didn't care. People didn't even know how to clean their apartments because they were taking people off the streets. Now, the second building, what happened was they decided, okay, before you get an apartment, we're going to take you through the basics of 101 on how to live, how to take care of what you have, how to flush a toilet, what a toilet's for, how to clean a toilet, how to clean your kitchen, how to make sure you go through and rotate stuff in your fridge, first in, first out. And when things start to smell, go around and check on what the fuck's smelling in your apartment. Did you take the garbage out lately? Did you make your bed? Have you been doing your laundry? The whole list goes on, right? And taking this and doing these types of things in education. Now we're at a point where as people come into the country, maybe there has to be an education program of saying, before you come in here, here's what you have to take. And a lot of people are going to take offense to it, like, oh, that's just be prejudice. No, no. When people are starting to do things, this is all part of the energy that's coming in, right? And this is all part of the craziness and getting people to say, what? What do you mean? Because we're not. We're bypassing. We're just allowing. We're not, oh, well, that's fine. It's okay. Let it go. Let it go. Well, you let it go. And it's great to be in Pisces energy. It's great to allow and relax and allow yourself to come to some senses, some boundaries, right? But when you don't, when you stay in Pisces land and stay in like, oh yeah, life is great and all I want to do is get fucking high all day and all I want to do is just avoid, well then you find everything else around you starts to fall apart. And that's where we're at, right? That's where we're at. You know, we have the internet. They all usually have phones. I think they know before they get here. No, they don't, though, Lexi. They don't. When my sons went to Bishop McNally and they brought in children from the Congo, and a lot of these kids they brought into the Congo didn't have birth certificates at all. So some of these young people that came, especially young men that came in, and you're looking at it like, "Oh, okay, you can grow a full beard in less than a week, kind of thing. And you're looking at it, it's just like, I think you're older than 17, right? But they put them all basically with one date of birth. And that's what they did, even with the grandmas and stuff like that. They sort of averaged out where they were. And this is this is the thing. When they brought these children in, these kids, my kids came home and they said, "Mom, these guys are changing in the middle of the fucking gym." And I'm like, "What do you mean changing in the middle of the gym?" They didn't know how to use the washroom. They didn't know what the washrooms were. And going into the washrooms and getting changed before PE or before something else. They would just strip down and change right there. There has to be, when you're coming into a country, when you're coming into somewhere, and this is where things are going, because the part is that we can become so analytical, and that's Virgo, very analytical, where it's like, oh well, when we do this, and if we offend too much, if we offend too much, then we're a bad person, kind of thing. And this is where a middle ground has to happen. We're seeing the explosions happen all around the world. We're seeing it happening in Venezuela. The dictator doesn't want to let go. So, but that's what Russia wants. And then the CIA, and it's just like, oh my God, there's a turf war there. Then we're seeing it within the Middle East. There's a turf war there. We're seeing it all over the world. There's turf wars wherever. There's a turf war in gender ideology. I declare to be this, so I'm right. So this is my right to do this. It's my right to get in the ring and be a man and play with my junk in the middle of everything and straighten my junk before I go in there and I win this, right? Ha ha ha. There's a turf war. So we're going to be seeing where we have to stay ahead of our emotions, and especially as Mercury slows down and over these next several months, because it's just going to get intense. Our emotions are going to get intense. Our feelings of defensiveness is going to get intense. And Mercury is really wanting us, we're wanting to find solutions. We're wanting to find this. And later on tonight, when Venus forms that yod, and this is a harsh yod with Venus going in here, and this yod is coming into us, really getting us to look at the truth, getting us to really go to that higher place of service. But Venus being in Virgo and coming into a new moon, is saying, it's not a place where she wants to be. And I've mentioned this before. Venus hates Virgo, because Virgo says, okay, it's like the analogy, the diva has to go work at the soup kitchen. And the diva hates to work at the soup kitchen. Diva does not want to work at the soup kitchen, because I'm a diva. I'm too beautiful to work at the soup kitchen. I'm too pretty to do this. I know what's right. I like to do this. But now you have to, there's things that you have to do. You have to clean the toilet. You have to wash the floors. You have to do the dishes. The laundry has to be done. The garbage has to go out. These things have to be done. But Virgo, Venus doesn't want to. And so there's going to be a miscommunications on the things that need to be done. Things that need to be done by our own government and taking the responsibility for its people and saying, "Hey, you know what? Maybe we need to start looking at what is best for our country." So we can make it so that our young people can have a place to live, so that the people who are the elderly don't have to go on the fucking street to live, and making that a priority instead of making the priority, well, we don't want to offend people. We want to change this name because this might offend this group. Well, fuck the group. Fuck that they're offended. You know? Fuck the ideology. Right? Because that's where it's going. And that's where we have to come in as spiritual workers and say, you know what? Yeah. You know what? I might get offended that people call me names. Yeah. I mean, I've been called a lot of names. I've been attacked on social media many times. People don't like what I say, or that I'm too white, or I'm too this. Oh my God, mama, shut the fuck up. Yeah, okay. But no, I'm not. I'm not. Because when it comes to truth, when it comes to joy and wanting to have that joy, that means we have to come into spirit. We have to come into love. And having to come into that love, we have to take that divine road, which is higher, and stand and say, you know what? This is wrong. This is not what we do. This is not how we treat our people. We could go into Canada and we could talk about the natives, right? That's not how the fuck you treat people. I don't give a shit. You might like them, hate them, or whatever, but our natives, that's not how you treat them. They have they're human beings. They have gifts. They have talents. They have so much to offer to our world and understanding of our world, even deeper than what we know. But we decide to treat them less than, right? And that's not a good thing. And you might say, oh, they're alcoholic and drug addicts. Well, yeah, you would be too. Go on the res and live. Go see what they have to go through on a day-to-day basis and see what kind of prejudice that they go through. Not giving them that excuse, but hey, it's not exactly an easy road. So we're coming into some really harsh, heavy astrology and heavy, heavy energy during August. And as it's going to get triggered off, I think around August 15th. I mean, it's being triggered off tonight, but I think August 15th and going on, especially after the next full moon, is really going to get us to see more of the heaviness that's coming forward for the world and how we have to continually stay above. In my blog that I wrote today, let me see if I bring it up. I'll bring it up. I stated that someone said to me, a friend, once said, it looked like I was treading water while trying to keep a bunch of balls in the air. It was very accurate observation. And then she said something that stopped me in the tracks. I think that at the same time, you are kicking your heart away from you, not because you think your heart doesn't matter. You just don't have time to stop and take care of it. That what was said to me was very ugh. And I found it in my notes. I have a lot of notebooks, a lot of journals. Anyways, I found it in my journal and I read it and I'm like, oh my God, that is it's so relevant to today that we are very much kicking our heart away from ourselves. And this is where, I know above all, I need to guard my heart. I believe wholeheartedly that everything will flow from my heart, but the heart is the essence of who I am and not what I do. It's where joy is found. And finding that joy is so important in amongst chaos, in amongst people shitting on the beach, amongst all the other craziness. and the chaos that is going on. We got to come into and find that joy, because in finding that joy and finding that peace is going to allow us to be able to stand, to be able to create, and able to love. And not to love because I should, but to love because that's what I that's what I do. It's not to take sides on this one's right or that one's right. It's to come into a place of peace. And know when coming into that place of peace that not everybody's going to like you. Not everybody's going to agree with you. A lot of people are going to be angry and upset because you're not going with what they think is right, but they believe to be true. But you know within your heart and within your spirit of who you are that you're standing within your truth. And the truth is to bring everybody up to a higher vibration, to a higher place, to a higher of love and of joy. And in doing so, you will find that God that you are searching. You'll find that peace that you are searching for. And I put a little prayer, and you can fill in the blanks of who you want to pray to. It's up to you. But this is how my prayer went. And I said, "Dear Lord, I hold out my heart to you and ask you to pour your love and grace over it. Amen. So it be. Ho." And that's my prayer I ask for you today, that you hold out your heart to the divine, to your God, to your Lord, and you ask for the love and grace over it so that you can carry on each and every day as a shining light. Even when you get into over analytical, even when you get to a point where somebody who's retarded out there is trying to egg you on and get you angry, right? This is where it's like you have to come to a place of that divinity within you. And we all have it. But it's going to be a hard bullet to bite, because we're going to see atrocities that are going to happen, even more than what we've already seen. We are going to see people trying to take away rights that have been fought for so long. And people ask why. Why do we have to have a difference between a male and a female? Because of the rights. To understand that women have fought to have identity. Women have fought to be and stand in truth, right? And that's why you have to have the difference. When you try and lump it all together, it gets thrown out. It gets thrown out, and then that of what you thought and that what you wanted to keep up is nothing. Is nothing. And that's where we're coming into. So it's us standing into our peace and standing into our joy and allowing for that grace to wash over our hearts and that peace. And it's very important because we're standing up for so much. And when you're standing up for the protection of others, the protection of people who don't have the ability to fight back, the ones that get pushed away. And a lot of that has to do with the divine feminine and standing into that divineness of it. I'm going to sneeze. Oh, shaman said long ago, when I sneeze, I'm on the right track. So standing into that peace and divinity of who we are. So on that note, I'm going to love you and leave you. I have to get out and I got to go catch my bus. So I'm going to pull a couple cards. Pulled out the tarot. If you're wanting to book a new moon reading, definitely get a hold of me today. The new moon readings will be coming out on Sunday. And that's when I'm going to be doing the recordings and getting everybody's reading out. Or if you want your astrology reading, definitely we can book in. I'm booking mainly in morning times, not afternoon, some weekends. So, and that's the reason I'm not doing very many evenings or afternoons and stuff for readings now, because it's very, because of the injuries that I've I have right now. By the afternoon, I'm very tired. Just to let you know, I'm just tired. And it takes a lot. So, but coming into that balance, finding that balance, right, is so important. That give and that take. And sometimes we might find it difficult to find the balance, the give and the take. It's hard for us to find it because we feel like sometimes we're just giving too much and we can't give any more. But the 6 is about, it brings in that balance, right? But the thing is that if we're being overly generous or we're feeling that we're being taken advantage of, this is where we have to find where that imbalance in our energy is. And we have to come back into that place of Pisces and find our flow, in a positive way. And that's so important to do that, because the Queen comes in, and the Queen, of Cups, yeah, she's emotional. She works with her emotions. She understands her emotions. So finding and not being afraid of that, finding and not being afraid of that balance of where we might be overly emotional, maybe where we're not emotional enough, but where sometimes our emotions can get the best of us. And doing a check on that within our own selves and saying, okay, where is it within my ego that I'm getting offended? And that I'm getting overly emotional on this, because I need to come into a place where I need to come into a place of silence. I need to come into a place where it allows for me to go in and find that light to shine upon my path, and trust in that light that's shining upon my path, that it's leading me somewhere, even though I feel like I'm going nowhere and I'm running in circles and chasing my fucking tail. So finding that within is very important. And especially as we're going into some really heavy cycles coming up over the next few months. Yes, we'll have some breaks in between. And those breaks, the astrology always gives us breaks, and gets us to sort of, take a big breather. But right now, I'm letting you know, we're coming into some really heavy, heavy energy.
Lystra, FaceTime video.
And finding those cracks within. So, sending you out so much love, and may the Lord and Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you in all that you say, in all that you be, in all that you do. Have a blessed one, and have a great one. And let me know, or buy me a coffee. That would be great. Love it if you can buy me a coffee. Blessed be everyone. Take care.